Say I ain't getting caught in traffic. When the people in power, please stop it. Say I can't get to work on time, cause I'm stuck at the traffic light. I hate getting caught in traffic. When the people in power, please stop it. Say I can't get to work on time, cause I'm stuck at the traffic light.
Politics. This is DouglAR politics, yo. DouglAR politics. Listen, DouglAR politics, yeah. DouglAR politics. This is DouglAR politics, yeah. DouglAR politics. This is DouglAR politics. DouglAR politics. This is DouglAR politics, yo. DouglAR politics.
Good evening and welcome to DouglAR Politics. And you know, we like to support we local thing, we local culture. Super Saturdays at Eddie Hart Grounds, or where Kamala and the People Partnership pave, where you could go there and get food. Now Super Saturdays, you're getting soup, and they start at about 6 p.m. Yeah, your corn soup, cowie soup, pigtail. Just tell them you're going to Taste of Paradise. T-O-P, Taste of Paradise. Eddie Hart Grounds from 6 p.m. Get your soup every Saturday. They call it Super Saturdays. That soup tastes real good. I tell you now, you know. DouglAR don't play. If your soup ain't good, it ain't good. But Taste of Paradise, Eddie Hart Grounds, 6 p.m. onwards, every Saturday. Check them out. Now, when you're talking performance, somebody did this, you know. I have a problem. I didn't make such a good politician when I was a minister because I don't like to show off about what I do and things. But I realize that the media don't like to tell the truth. So sometimes you have to do what you don't like to do, which is to show all you what we do. Archie, let me see Kamala versus Rowley. Swimming pool versus swimming. Oh my goodness. Look at Kamala's swimming pool. Oh, good! Leave up the picture and the people see it there, Archie. The best aquatic center in the Western Hemisphere in order to create a growth pole and move forward with sport tourism. That is better than what they have in the entire United States of America and Canada. There is no single facility in the USA as beautiful, as brilliant, as technologically advanced as that facility. And it's being wasted by the PNM who do not know what to do. Not even a coach to teach diving yet, 7 years later. But look what Rowley do give black people. Maloney Community Pool. Look, the water low down. The deepest part look like 4 foot. They put in little brick tiles as if it's a little luxury pool, a relaxation pond in a house. Look at that. That is what Rowley give black people. Look what Kamala give we. All right. Well, let's see. Elections are consequences. What all you want me to say? But it was a decent day for Trinidad and Tobago, I must say. I am proud of my bobsleighmen, the bobsledders, the Marcano, John, and driver Axel Brown. Well done. Consistency, 1 minute .81, 1 minute .89, 1 minute .86. Excellent work. Look good. You're competitive. Yes, we finished 28 out of 30, but it was solid. There's potential. We have to invest now moving forward. And Wakanda forever, boy. The uniform was the baddest uniform in the whole Olympics, boy. Trinidad and Tobago looked good. It was brilliant. Well done, fellas. Trinidad and Tobago are likely host, says CPL. St. Kitts and St. Lucia confirmed as CPL host countries. And then the Skullmen and them say, but Trinidad likely host because they know they are Boboli here who does pay $6 million to host some stupid game, and we are nothing to market, nothing to sell. We are no tourism. We're the worst in COVID-19. So they're trying to leave it hanging there, dangling for the dodo head PNM to go and spend taxpayer money to host some cricket game that bring no benefit to Trinidad and Tobago because we have nothing to market right now. But anyway, now, Mr. Herbert George, I wonder if I forgot this one, Archie. Oh, gosh, I feel I go set you up. they had a video, I don't know if Vishnu would have sent it, of a man saying, but hey, Nitco, how are you building my wall and thing? It's not on the list. Nah, I forget that. Oh Lord, we go see that at the end. That my fault. I write it down and I tell Archie. But put up where Rowley, big oil and gas conference in Guyana. Keith Rowley, but Mia Motley is more innovation in tourism and agriculture and agro-processing and business and work from home online. Guyana is where all the action is in oil and gas. Trinidad and Tobago, we've been in oil and gas since 1908, yet Rowley is not there. Now there are two stories coming out. First story was that the Guyanese government invite Rowley because obviously his people were working shenanigans in the election. Andrew Gabriel, how you going, boy? You was in Guyana during the election. Nancy Scope, were you over there too? That was the first story. The second story is that the government of Guyana, they still invited Rowley even though they don't like him and they find him useless. They still did the mature diplomatic thing and invited him. And Rowley did not go. Rowley, why didn't you go? Lovell Francis printed up and type up and put on social media the UNC laws in Guyana. What y'all have with that? Why are you all so divisive? PNM, the only thing all you have is race, but everybody suffering under the PNM. Whether you is Indian, African, DouglAR, Chinese, Syrian, mix up, everybody suffering except the financiers, right? So Rowley, where you was, boy? I mean, they miss you. They didn't want you. They were happy that you either weren't invited or didn't come. I really couldn't care less, but it is a very serious issue because Trinidad and Tobago, having been in the industry so long, we have experts, engineers, chemical engineers, business people, finance people who understand oil and gas. It could be a way to diversify our economy to be able to assist our neighbors, our CARICOM colleagues in the development and negotiation with expertise. But we are missing out on an opportunity because Rowley is a heartless, unconscionable clown that nobody respects and nobody wants to do business with because he's myopic and selfish, ignorant, don't listen. Ask Dr. Terence Farrell, ask Denise Deming, ask now Helen Drayton, ask anybody, and you all now understand what I've been telling you all for 6.5 long years. So, President of Guyana says oil and gas can make Guyana's dreams come true. President Irfan Ali said the oil and gas discoveries and the resulting revenue from its content could generate the revenue to build the Guyana that its people have dreamed of for generations. It gives us the opportunity with the resources to diversify our economy, building out through many new pillars so that we will be resilient and sustainable. In other words, he will do exactly what PNM did not do. So he have a roadmap. He see the PNM roadmap and he drive far away from whatever PNM do. That is a good, intelligent man. The United National Congress sends a letter of complaint to the Chief Justice on independent Senator Vera. The opposition UNC is sending a complaint to the Chief Justice on independent Senator Anthony Vera. Which board you on again? Which PNM board you on, independent senator? Which board you on that the PNM put you there that you have to take PNM instruction from a PNM minister and you're getting PNM stipend? Which board? You got any briefs too? Just let us know now, you know. Full transparency, accountability, full disclosure is always necessary. I'm sure you believe in that. Corporate governance structure, propriety, procurement, transparency, ethics, of course. Independent Senator Vera. So a letter has been sent to the Chief Justice as on independent Senator Anthony Vera's declaration last year that 2 Court of Appeal judges complained to him, Vera, about UNC criticism and behavior. And the UNC is also launching legal action to seek removal of the National Insurance Board's chairman. UNC leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa indicated this at the party's Monday night forum. The letter was supposed to have been sent yesterday, she said, which would have been Tuesday. She said the letter to the Chief Justice is copied to the Law Association. Her complaint involves Vera's statement last year in his motion where he condemned unparliamentary behavior by the UNC at a previous debate on the president. He had said 2 appeal court judges sent WhatsApp messages to him on criticisms of him by a junior attorney, UNC Senator Jayanti Lakshmidhyal, and also about parliamentarians' behavior during the debate. Prasad Bisesa said Vera's statements went to the heart of the judiciary, and in his statements painted all judges with the same light as those he referred to. Very serious. So we wait to hear, because we want to know if, according to independent Senator Vera, the Court of Appeal judges and members of the judiciary have a problem with a political party and therefore they are not impartial. Is very, very serious, because the judiciary is the only institution in Trinidad and Tobago where someone could hope maybe to get a fair hearing. That's the last bastion and little piece of thread of democracy left in this country. But this man said they call he to bad talk UNC. Is that true? Or did he make it up? Well, we want to hear, Chief Justice, please investigate and alert the population, because confidence and trust in the judiciary is far more important than this clown. Maduro supporting Russia, Archie, in the war. So if Russia go to war, enter Ukraine, and NATO and all the allies going at Russia and tell them no, and it's war with jets and missile and all kind of thing. Maduro say he on Russia's side. Well, Rowley, whose side you on? You spit out your friend now though, because for money, gold bars, refinery, Wilmer Rupetti, gas, sanction busting, bringing them to land in sanction plane to meet you face to face with Astrobal Chavez, and to tell Petrotrin, tell the OWTU that if they want patriotic energies, they have to sign a MOU with Trafigura Limited. Money is one thing, and Rowley, but bully afraid bullet. So you go spit out your friend now, Rowley. You're enjoying he. So Trinidad and Tobago is not with Maduro and Russia like before. You see how your plans has changed, your foreign policy has shifted. Hey, Rowley, K-Pax clapping. What you going to say? Suppose Maduro call you and say, Rowley, come on. We are together. Let's go. Let's go with Putin. Let's fight. Where you going? You're going to go on your cutlass vessel. When the big boys fighting, your big bad badger, where you pack a ole chips? You only a man wife dipping in your ole chips. I wonder if Sharon eat any ole chips from you. Sharon still there or she gone? And Rowley tell me now, and you like to dip ole chips? So Adrian Schoon, son of Minister Paula Gopi Schoon, to be charged because of the Ocean Pelican where man went to drink rum and eat a little thing in the breeze. That's very nice, very interesting. A lot of police resources and time put into charging people for eating and drinking on a vessel in the open breeze. While when we see now, Carnival Fete, whatever going on, lime going on all over the place, a taste of bacchanal, a taste of carnival, we seeing all kind of thing going on. But you're picking and choosing who you're charging. Now people may say, but Anil, it's a PNM, why are you not happy? I am not happy when you pick and choose. The rule of law must apply to each and every one of us. No one is above the law, and the law must not be used in selective manners, because all that time and effort to find out if Schoon, Gopi Schoon's son, go get charged. Okay. Then what about the time and effort on Al-Rawi? Did he transfer the vehicle? When did they transfer? Did they then change the transfer? Because before, he never showed no documentation on the transfer. All of a sudden, it appear. All you investigating that, or you not investigating that? What about the check? He paid, he didn't pay. Who he sent? How come he said he sent a girl with a letter to transfer when you cannot do that? We want to know. What about that charge? What about the indemnity that Al-Rawi as Attorney General signed with a witness in a criminal matter to promise him all manner of things? And what is that? Isn't that the authority only of the DPP's office? What about that? Where are you going with that? Any investigation on that? Any file on that? Any charge? Or you come to charge he because he let people drink and dance to the music and eat a scone? Or you want to charge he because the PNM have some political bacchanal going on, which inside of them they divided and mash up. So police running he down, but letting big fish go, that can't be correct. So I can't celebrate because this PNM get charged. When all you have taste a carnival, spending $15 million for taste or what? Empty place, but then party ram out, people whining, no mask, jamming and thing, and all you getting on like it's no COVID. No 3,500 people dead. What about Rowley and the investigation and the misbehavior in public office and so on with the collapse of the Police Service Commission? Any investigation on that? Because the former Commissioner of Police had given detailed reports on Bliss Sipasad and the interference by Rowley with the President to thwart the merit list that caused the Police Service Commission to collapse. Any information on that? Any charges? Or certain people above the law, but then they have the Pelican brief. So they run down school with 28 police and all kind of police time. Any movement on email gate? Because if a man knowingly come to Parliament and make a report to the police, the Commissioner of Police, the Integrity Commission and so on, and then police spend time investigating what the man knew to be untrue, there's a charge called wasting police time. What about that? Any movement on that? Jacobs, they tell me to walk with Jacob because Jacob does walk and shake up. What about when Stuart Young, Smallpin Young and Rowley, them went down hostile INCAT in Australia? Tell them, listen, this is the tender process. No board, no invitation to tender, no advertisement, no evaluation team, nothing. Two of them went down there and they say, oh, they bring the bids and hand it to Smallpin. And Smallpin had a little ministerial committee and they went and they look at the bids. And then Smallpin come out and say, well, one bid, INCAT bid, was lower than hostile bid. And so that the committee communicated to Hostal to tell them about INCAT's secret bid. And then Hostal lowered the price. And the ministerial committee headed by Stuart Smallpin, Rowley's brethren, Rowley's minister of everything, Rowley's Ole, he then recommended to the cabinet, and the cabinet headed by Rowley agreed to give one. Somehow that sound like big bid rigging. Isn't tender information supposed to be secret? Aren't you not supposed to share tender information? Isn't that in all of the Central Tenders Board legislation 1963, Ministry of Finance rules and so on, and the procurement gutted legislation, that information is secret, and to share that to allow someone an advantage is called bid rigging? If the INCAT bid was lower, shouldn't INCAT have been awarded both vessels? I don't understand. Police, all you have time to study who drink rum and eat scones on the Pelican? We're not so interested in the Pelican brief, because what happened with Andrew Gabriel's daughter wedding? 240 people breaching the same regulations. Where the police, where the charge, who was there, which ministers was inside there? Oh, but you run down school. Why? Because Rowley vexed with Paula and Al-Rawi and PNM battling. Police is not to play politics. It is a disgrace. It is a shame. So don't feel because it's a PNM and he'll go suddenly say, oh, great, well done, police. That is not how a democracy works. And I take no pleasure in stupidity. If you are a charge he, charge all. I ain't done there yet, you know. War Archie, boy. Police. Boy, blue. In DouglAR politics, we getting real. What about, Archie, what about the fake oil? What about the fake oil? Because the former commissioner of police said the police investigation is ongoing. Police investigation don't care about no arbitration. It don't care about no small pin going in parliament and talking up in the K-Pax. The police don't care about stupidity, car dance, uncoordinated, small pin, dum-dum young. Police investigation was ongoing. The former commissioner of police said the investigation has reached a critical point. They needed resources to pay an independent international geologist to confirm their findings. Where we reach there? Jacob, DCP Jacob, where you reach there? You get him the money, you get the money, you get the money from Fitzgerald Hines when you're asking him for his opinion. What about Rowley consuming and confessing to consuming alcohol in breach of the regulations? At DCP Jacobs, you want to charge Schoon for breaching regulations. Rowley admit and confess to the world that he breached the regulation. Where he charge? Since we charging, oh, it's Rowley. Oh no, it's Rowley. He's above the law. Is that so? What about DCP Jacobs and the police? What about Rowley Integrity Commission form? Is it the law that we have to fill out the forms properly? Is it the law that we have to fill out Form A and Form B? Isn't Form B the public form? Isn't it a breach of the law if you do not fill out Form B properly? Isn't it a breach of the law to not put and declare a benefit received from a source? So if a man get a $468,000 discount, doesn't a public figure have to declare that? And if they did not declare it, is it a charge? What about signing a declaration of false information that if something is valued at 1.68 million and you sign knowing full well that what you're signing is wrong and false, that it's valued at 1.2 million, even though you pay the stamp duty for 1.68 million, isn't that a charge? All you're studying Schoon and the Pelican, all you're studying rum and soda and scones and chicken puff. We want to know at DCP 6th place, promoted to number 1 by the PNM, who does have meeting with the PNM, who lie and say sort going nowhere. Now it has NOTF, and then tell we that the US does fund there and extrajudicial simidimi, they don't get involved with that. Then what about the Coast Guard with Yaelvi Santoyo Saravia? What about that? Where the investigation? Where the independent investigation? Over 9 days gone. Where that? Look, 6th place. Look, man, McDonald Jacob. Boy, I don't think I ever come 6th in nothing, boy. The man comes 6th. You are no shame. And you're going to take the walk? Well, you are no class, yes? So, if Schoon charge, what about Al-Rawi? What is the situation with Al-Rawi with the Ocean Pelican thing? I'm telling all you, did Al-Rawi advise you, Schoon? Schoon, with all due respect, now that they charge you, well, you see, while I'm not happy that they pick you out and all, they should have charged everybody. What about land-based investigation? Yes, that should have been reinvestigated because they had enough to carry a file by the DPP, but they forgot to say, Rowley, what say you about this gravel rolling from the hospital to Bayou? They forgot to do that, so technicality, throw out. But the police could have started over the investigation. Why it didn't start over? Engine stick. It had no electricity. Oh, it had no electricity, blackout, yes? So, Schoon, when you go in the witness stand, though, you have to talk the truth. So I'm asking you now, Adrian Schoon, who advised you to do this? Why did you do this? Who was the person telling you that it was legal? Who told you that this was okay? Who advised you and gave you the confidence so to do, and now they put you up the creek without a paddle? When you swear on the Bible, Schoon, the truth had to come out. Hey, Blanchy Sherrills, Boomsy clapping, eh? Calypso Monarch prelims hit a sour note. But Hans Devines, the Indian them don't support the culture. The UNC don't support the culture. We don't like the culture. The DouglAR don't like the culture. It's only your base that's like the culture. And when the culture on, your base have nobody there. So your base not excited about the culture that you define what is culture. The PNM define what is culture. Hans Dotish Devines. Well, Calypso Monarch hits a sour note. Calypso Monarch in limbo. Calypso Monarch cancelled. Tuco 1.5 million, not enough. What happened? Hans Devines. The PNM don't like the Calypso. The PNM don't like the culture. What kind of little bit of money? What kind of little bit of money for Calypso? Extempo cancel, Calypso Monarch cancel. You know something, Hans Devines? When Kamala the Indian was Prime Minister, is the largest prize money across the board for Calypso, Soca, Power Soca, Groovy, Pan, stipend for Pan players, more investment in the culture than ever before. When the Indian woman was there. So what say you, Mr. Hans, divisive, disgusting dunce Devines? You just like to talk. What you say now, defend that. You only don't like the Calypso. How only 1.5 million and it cancel all the culture. What about your base? Rowley base is pink. Not even you, your big clown Hans Devines. A true, here the Guardian. Look at the culture. The Indian didn't go, but the African went and Hans Devines. Look all the PNM African. All they so sick with the race talk. Set of nonsense. The PNM and the Rowley is the worst government in the history of the Commonwealth. Bar none. Nothing works. Even the Guardian. A true Trini taste of Bacchanal. The National Carnival Commission's planned taste of carnival is now spawning a true Trini-style taste of Bacchanal at a time when many in the national community continue to question whether this endeavor was necessary at all. Oh, the Guardian is Indian, the Guardian is UNC, so it didn't have nothing to do but waste of money, impropriety, making decisions and handing out contracts without funding, without cabinet approval, which is illegal, building pods and handing out contracts without the authority so to do. It didn't have to do with that. It didn't have to do with COVID-19, Omicron, low vaccination rates, no protection for two-shot people against Omicron. It didn't have to do with that, Hans. What it had to do with Indian don't like the culture. Well, what you say now? What you say now that the culture suffer and crash and disrespected, that they don't even have enough money to have the Calypso Monarch. And the Calypso, since John Yule Williams, is the only PNM, there's a PNM party group that don't even support their own. Look at the Express. A sour taste of carnival. Well, this Express must be a UNC, Indian Express. And Hans PNM disgusting dotish Devines. It is becoming more evident by the day that the National Carnival Commission severely underestimated the national appetite for its taste of carnival. Last weekend's Calypso tent events had more performers than audience members. The NCC was forced to postpone last night's national extempore preliminaries without giving reasons. The reason is nobody was there. Nobody lives there, Hans. Nobody lives there. On top of that, the National Calypso Monarch final is now in a state of abeyance. Well, this was way back on the 15th. Now we know it is no more. It has been cancelled because there's no money, no investment in the culture, as you say it, Hans Devines. If they cared about the culture, they would encourage their base to go to the cultural events that are still happening. Which cultural events are still happening? Who is they? And the UNC and those Indians? Hans, racist Devines, what say you now? You're not apologizing. I hear you try to back and say, well, it's the other soca artists. How much, I ask you, how much of this taste of carnival were you carded to host? But now that everything collapsed and the only thing that going on is Pan, what you have to say? But they don't care about the culture They care about themselves, so they won't do that. Oh, we UNC only care about ourselves, so it wasn't national issues, it wasn't national priorities. Well, who all you care about? Where your base? Where everything that you talk about empty? Gypsy off key. Tuco hits NCC head. Calypso events assurances. The staging of this year's National Calypso Monarch and Extempo Monarch competitions are remain in doubt. Well, they cancel now. And the Trinbago Unified has said to be locked in a meeting Monday because of lack of funding. Here's the editorial of the Newsday, Hans Devine. Kaiso left to suffer, not from the Indian, not from the UNC, not from they, not from them, from you and your PNM and your culture base, as you talk about, since you like to talk race. Well, the PNM has always suffered black people. The PNM uses black people to get into power, and then they have the recusals of the Imberts, the recusal of the Oreo Rowley, the recusal of the Al-Rawi Johnny Sukaran, the recusals of the Small Pin, the recusal of the Randall Pink Mitchell, the recusals of the Convent Girl. Which one black? Hans Devines. You know what black people get from the PNM? PSA attacked, public servants attacked, permanent secretaries attacked, Petrotrin fired, OWTU attacked, tutor attacked, fire attacked, all service industry attacked, all workers attacked, all poor people attacked, beat them to water, 6 months. They say they move it from December 2nd, February 7th, February 18th is today, and I know Jai Day. And I now see to water all over the place still. It's still done. Watch it there. Watch that day. Victor Roberts went down there. That was from yesterday. That is this week. And that is all to water flowing in the beatum across the board. Look at what people have to go through. But you're talking about under Kamla. Calypso got respected and more prize money, $1 million prize money. Soca, groovy and power, carnival, stick fighting, regional carnivals. Everybody got funding because Kamala believe and support all the culture. You come to talk stupidness with your PNM baddies because you get a little kakada, you're broken sourpuss, so you get a little walk. So you going to talk up stupidity? Tuco cancels Extempo, Calypso and Calypso. And here the next one, here the pink man, Randall Mitchell. Tuco has sole purview over Calypso and Extempo shows. Really? They don't. Because you have sole purview over the government funding of the culture, of the Calypso, of the art form, of the black man thing. And hands. So if Randall Mitchell and the PNM don't give Tuco money, how can Tuco have a show? But Randall Mitchell, who lost his wife and his seat to Brian Manning, and he had to keep his dog locked up inside, come to tell me it's Tuco fault. It's Tuco. And then let me tell you something. Actually, let me talk some serious thing here to this Randall Mitchell and to Donna Cox. As you all know, Kamla Prasad Bisesa showing that the United National Congress is an all-encompassing party that invites all and everyone is welcome. Whether you're African, Indian, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Orisha, Rastafari, whether you are white, Chinese, Syrian, mixed, DouglAR, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, whether in government, out of government, cabinet posts, board appointments, always tries to reflect all of Trinidad and Tobago. And she went a step further by putting into the Senate as a temporary senator, Joel D'Souza. But this fella and Donna Cox, when Joel D'Souza sat down in the Senate, throwing talk for me, the DouglAR, saying, Anil, what say you? Trying to pretend that I am homophobic. Well, let me clarify for them as I did and for you. Anil is not homophobic at all. At all, at all. When Anil criticizes, I am liar-phobic. I am fake-phobic. I am closet-phobic. And I am thief-phobic. And Rowley, so let's be clear. People are born, and I am no judge. I love and respect everyone. How you treat me is how I treat you. Respect is reciprocal. However, when you are closet and you are fake and you are ashamed of how you are born and who you are, I have a problem with that. So for all them PNM who know that they are born a certain way and they are pretending and putting families at risk and fooling women into believing that they are loving and they're born that way, that is my problem. So when the minister man come and playing sweet boy, but he really sweet on other people, Archie and all them at a duck, when the minister man coming, don't lie, don't pretend. If you are what you are, this is a real human being. This is no hiding, this is no faking, this is real. Respect you. And Randall Mitchell, respect you. Don't play no closet thing. Faris Al-Rawi, call me, but what's happening? Keith Scotland, how you going? Amory Brown, how you going? Who else? Minister Man, how you going? That's the issue. Don't play all your sweet boy when you sow. If you sow, you're born so. Stand proud, stand real, stand firm. So don't come, Donna Cox, don't throw no words at me. Or like, oh, you don't understand Anil. Anil real and Anil understand that people are born there and God make everybody and love everybody. But when you're lying, if you lie on that, as Manning say, you go lie. Show me a liar and I'll show you a thief. So when you're lying is when idols bring you out. Right, Minister Man? So talk more little stupidness about live sport. And I will tell you about bathroom sport. When you know you didn't want to go so, but you went so, and the poor lady had to find out the truth. That is lie. Do you understand, Minister Man? So Donna Cox, don't ask me no question. I fully support and believe in all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Joel D'Souza as a senator was brilliant and shows all inclusivity of the United National Congress, a place for everybody, every creed, every class, every religion, everybody, every race could find a place, because the UNC is about intelligence, programs, patriotism, and moving the country forward. Rowley must go, the PNM must go, and all the fake man must go too. Don't play man when you're his girl. No, we don't like fake, we like real. No Kaiso monarch. But just for Hans Levines again, Archie. See, no Kaiso monarch, no money, no funding for Calypso, extempo and so on. But look what happened. Look what the Indian them do for the culture. Even in opposition, the Indian recognized the Baron, the Penal Debe Corporation, name a road after the great legend, the Baron. The sweet soca man. So don't get tied up, Mr. Hans, dotish, unresearched, don't read the wheels. Go and study your PNM, go and study Rowley. He only studying Ole chips and not to deal with black people properly. But here the next one, Gypsy. Gypsy, 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 how far thou hast fallen. Savannah pods almost sold out, says Gypsy, really? Tickets for 6-person and 9-person carnival pods at the Queen's Park Savannah are almost sold out. Gypsy, how you build the pods? How you gave out the contract for the pods? What was the tender process, Gypsy? Where was the confirmed cabinet note that you could create pods, that you had your budget, that you had money approved to do certain things? Gypsy, you're gone while you was a minister. You know the process, Gypsy. The PNM turn you just like them. You're gone mad. But all the pods, says Gypsy. He said the bulk of pod tickets purchased so far were for the medium and large band. Yes, people go come for the pan. But here the problem, Gypsy, don't try to get on. If you have 300 pod, right, by 10 people on average, because there's 6 and 9 people pod, let us say 10 people, that's 3,000 people. Gypsy, North Stand on a good panorama, there's at max out at about 3 p.m. at 24,000, 28,000 people. So you get 3,000 people and boasting that your pod sell out, your sheep pen sell out, your goat pen sell out. What about all the other events that cancel? I thought you had 35 million for about 20 events and 16 of the events cancel. How come you're still spending? How come you're still going ahead? So the taste of carnival come down to oomph of carnival? Eh? That carnival really and truly P&M? All you have no shame. On top of that, Gypsy, we average price of the six goat pen or the 9 goat pen. Let me take the average at $2,000, right? Don't minus 1,521. I'm taking it big. So Gypsy, you make 300 by 2,000. That is $600,000. But you spend 15 million for the event. Gypsy, you're short 14.4. You're bust by 14.4. Because Gypsy, the only event that would sell is the National Instrument Pan. And it only sell because normally it will have 28,000 people. So it's easy to get 3,000 people to go in goat pen. Where you feel it is? From one clong to the next. Healthcare horrors. Convent girl, the doctor of death, because he's not a doctor, not a medical doctor, he's not a pharmacist, he couldn't pass his pharmacological exam. Imagine I talking to a lovely lady who's a pharmacist, and she said, well, the Minister of Health is a pharmacist. I said, no, my lady, didn't you have to pass a pharmacological exam, a very difficult exam? She said, yes. Well, I said, he didn't pass that. So don't downgrade yourself to he. He's a druggist. He's not a pharmacist. He could not pass his exam. But healthcare horrors, dead within hours of testing positive for COVID-19. It was the week before Christmas. This is a Khalil Hussein article in The Guardian. Week before Christmas, and they now getting the truth. So the COVID-19 committee that Rowley put up for a week and then give our next 3 weeks, where all they reach? All you interview these people, you get statements from these people, and the other 3,500 people in a month. All you have no shame as professionals to take basket from an idiot like Rowley, who's going to come back and throw you all under the bus. How can you investigate such a critical position of deaths in a health system with over 3,500 case files to read, over 3,500 or more, 7,000 people to interview per death case, all the nurses, 4,000 nurses and doctors, 300 doctors? How are you going to interview them? How are you going to check systems? How are you going to check stores and records of allocation of medication and so on? How are you going to check all the records and the details of the charts of the oxygenation of patients in the HDU and the ICU in 4 weeks? But you was told to do it in a week, and all you accept that. That is like Rowley saying, I have a week to turn he into a human being or teach him how to swim in a week. A dum-dum like Rowley who is only share yole with any woman who passed, they could dip yarn in the pack. One family member who spoke on the condition of anonymity said the doctor told them she had a bout of pneumonia. Right? This was down in Rio Claro. However, the medications hardly helped. She was fully vaccinated. And how many people I keep asking this doctor of death? That's the only doctor he is. He's not a medical doctor, he's not a pharmacist, he's nothing. But he's the doctor of death, this convent girl. Out of the 225 citizens who were fully vaccinated and dead, how many took Sinopharm? How many took Pfizer? How many took AstraZeneca? How many took one-shot Johnson & Johnson? Answer the question, doctor of death. She from Rio Claro. Doctors at the health center decided to transfer her to San Fernando Hospital. According to the family, that is where the real nightmare began. It is a situation many people and many families have faced in the last 2 years of the pandemic. Family members called for almost 9 hours, but she never picked up. After waiting since midday, around 9 p.m., according to one relative, somebody come out and tell them, hey, your mother dead. They were like, what? According to the relative, the family was not placed in quarantine, nor were they told to get tested. Imagine up to now, 27 months into a pandemic, people are taking their tests at this man's institutions and not getting back results 7 days, 8 days, 9 days. COVID-19 hospital occupancy declines, says Miriam Abdul Richards. Hey girl, you get Ole? Did you get Ole? You get more than Ole or you get Ole? You dip your hand in the pack too? Eh? Did you? Because you getting all kind of board appointment. Rowley drooling over you like he dribbled on the Ole from since before. Did you dip in the Ole pack? That's what we want to know. Because your PNM, Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards, your PNM ERHA board, your PNM and NIPDEC board, your PNM Angostura board, and now your PNM Ole pack. But hear this one. COVID-19 hospital occupancy declines. Yes. Do you know, y'all are so, I don't know if y'all know what's the difference between a lie and the truth. Any human being living in Trinidad and Tobago, especially over the last 7 months, have noticed that the citizens are refusing to go to your healthcare system because you're guaranteed to dead. They read and they research, they look at news all across the world, and where recovery rates from the ICU unit range between 70 and 90%, our recovery rate is below 10% once you reach ICU. In some cases, for some periods, once you reach in the ICU, the next step is casket. So people are not going. So don't come and boast that hospitalizations are down. People are willing and able to take their risk at home to get private medical care, to stay in their room and pray to God. Pray that they survive rather than go to the healthcare system that you, Miss Ole Chips Eater, also is that you in charge of. Al-Rawi, vaccine legislation coming soon. I didn't tell all you. Rowley, you have no cojones, boy. You have no balls. I tell you from early that you and this clown cannot bring no mandatory nothing. All you cannot. Don't come and pretend now. You were supposed to be January, then February 17. Now you're saying the legislation still drafting. The only thing drafting is when he bend over and his pants rip, and then it get a big hole, he just get draft because he just walk around with the tight pants, right? All you ain't drafting nothing. Rowley is a total clown. You cannot bring that, I tell you that. So just back up, say, I'm sorry, I heard, I didn't understand the science, it didn't make sense, it was stupid, just like my entire pandemic fight. It was not based on any sense, just like the open fire cremation ban and the beach ban and closing that and closing double stand but leaving KFC open. All of that, the locking down the borders and stopping citizens from coming home to vote so I could get re-elected, but leaving the porous borders, porous without diesel, without radar, without helicopter, without air guard, without army camps, so that variants could come in from Delta, Brazilian to Delta to Omicron. All the variants. I am so sorry Tobago was doing so well because they weren't taking me on, but I came and invite all the Trini and the Venezuelan from Trinidad to come over in Easter in 2020 and infect the whole of Tobago, and Tobago reached 200 and something deaths. I am a total, just say it, Rowley. This is just another example of your stupidity, you arrogant clown. Mandatory what? Mandatory nothing. I tell you, since you mentioned that they're going nowhere. I said they're going nowhere, boy. Eh? And you're bad. Imagine. I don't know what to say. Archie, blackout. Blackout for 24 to 48 hours after the blackout. No information. The PNM now going to put an independent investigation team to tell them why the country was in total blackout in Trinidad, not Tobago, PDP. Tobago. But everyone we should go Tobago, because you always say God is a Trini, but God could prevent us and keep us safe from natural disaster, earthquake, hurricane, storm, flooding, and so on. God could protect us from that. Volcanic eruption, tsunami. But God cannot protect us from a human disaster. The PNM is a man-made disaster that God and all cannot help us. So after that now, 48 hours after, we don't know what happened, why it happened, right? They're going to put an independent investigative team. What about Yaelvi Sontoyo Saravia? What about our independent investigative team for that? Where the witnesses gone? Where the statement? Where the checkout? The whole of the world is looking, but there's no investigative team. Where's the report? Over 9 days gone. No information, nothing closer on the killing of a little baby boy with his head shut open. Nothing. Small Pin Young say, poor communications. That's what occurred on the blackout day. Poor communications. But we, the government, we told Tiantec that only in charge of communication. This from the Super Gary Sobers, Small Pin, Rowley K-Pax minister, who was the minister of communications, you know. So if he was the minister of communications, wouldn't it have been your job to create a communication matrix for all different types of situations? So once again, Stuart Small Pin Young has to admit that he's a total complete failure. Wherever he went, Minister of National Security, everybody dead. Murder skyrocket. Silver and bronze medal. The only man who beat is 2008 Martin PNM Joseph. Look, this Small Pin, he gone there. Lifeguards can't get no work. Lifeguards can't even hang up there. They whistle or the trunks to dry. They had to bathe in the sea and go home. Everything, everywhere he went. In the Ministry of Energy, Point Lisa's shut down. NGC make a loss for the first time. NGC board members asking for indemnity. The whistleblowers get pelt out and replaced with more PNM. Anywhere Small Pin went is total complete failure. Negotiating gas price in Houston, Rowley Bose, Stuart Young was negotiating. As they negotiate that, the upstreamers, the private companies, them gone up 67% in profits, and we gone down. And Point Lisa's 11 companies bust out. That's what Small Pin does. He was the Minister of Communications and come out a day after the worst blackout in the history of Trinidad and Tobago as far as I could remember. 52 years. He come and say, well, the communications was poor. But it's not our fault. It's we told Tiantec to handle it. So Tiantec is a communication specialist. What Tiantec is? And by the way, where Rowley? They said they kept Rowley informed about the worst blackout in Trinidad and Tobago. Them have no shame. They come out and say that. Minister Aman say he kept Rowley abreast of the city. Well, not abreast. The Minister Aman don't know about breast, right? He kept him informed about the situation. Where Rowley was, where the Prime Minister was, while the country was taken back to the dark ages. No electricity, no internet, no water, no phone, no breeze and all. Because the PNM thiefing win. Kelvin Ramsuk say, all are Trinidad, but not Tobago. Because it are no PNM in Tobago. But on top of that, while all of this going on, people suffering across the board. I was down, my diesel down, light on, 80 kilometers. By the time I reach home, I have 18 kilometers left. All gas stations shut down. But not only that, people lost their assets. Look at these people, and across the board, their fish. Imagine these fish suffered, suffocated, and drowned and dead because of the PNM incompetence. Imagine our electricity supply. No redundancy, nothing. Just total blackout. And they don't even know why. Elections have consequences. When you elect a bunch of intellectual idiots, neophytes, and all they could do is lick Rowley K-Pax, and you start off with a man who is dotish, who could only study stones. Look at what happened to people. Archie, show them. All those was running, they all died. Over $50,000 worth, and it's not the money really, but that's part and parcel of it. But the fish died and suffered. What are they going to do? Who going to compensate? Who going to bring back the man Koi? And that's just one person. That's across the board. On top of that, the windshield washers down in Westmoreland, that all your people used to bad talk all the time because men trying to work and earn a living. And all the big Sawatis used to complain. In a calamity, in a tragedy, in a crisis, these young men stepped up and eased the pain through good heart, intelligence. They start to direct traffic and ease the sufferation of thousands of citizens. Where was the Small Pin and Fitzgerald at Albert Hines? Where were the police? Where was they? Tell me don't walk with Jacob because Jacob does walk and shake up. These young fellas, more useful than Jacob and the PNM police. You all don't understand how critical this is. Well done, fellas. Well done. And that also shows all of you who like to attack and criticize live sport for pumping resources down to those most in need, those who have been neglected, those who have no option, those who may have made the wrong choice, to give them an opportunity to make the right choice, to get educated, to get their talent identified, to get their ID cards, to get bank accounts, to get counseling, to get guidance, to get fit. All you criticize live sport PNM because you all are sick and you all just like poor people to suffer. But these people, these young men showed that they're more valuable than the whole PNM cabinet. Initiative, brain, action, implementation. These fellas, those words cannot be used to describe any cabinet minister or the entire cabinet. Facts. On top of that, they had crime and robbery across the country. Funeral homes, imagine that. In a COVID-19 where funeral homes done at over capacity, no electricity for 12 hours. What happened at those funeral homes? All the fish farmers, pure sufferation. But, and also, Kamla Prasad, the sister, she said that is no laughing matter because a very serious matter. Actually put up a statement. If you have it, put it up there. Kamla said, and we will read it out. If not, you could show first the video if you want. Right? While all that sufferation going on, look at the Minister of Man. While people suffering.
Something of this nature would have never happened, especially under my tenure. So these things you can't, and I'm sure the Commissioner of Police I'm referring to would wish to assure the country that tomorrow wouldn't have a murder. But these things are all dwell in our heart, and we wish only the best for Trinidad and Tobago. But
play it again, man. Play it again. I want the people to see that this minister finds it funny and jovial and then tries to make a comparison. Run it.
Given that the system is backed up, but that there would not be necessarily any repeat of anything like what happened yesterday in the very near future at the very least.
I think when I took my oath of appointment, I would have liked to assure the country that something of this nature would have never happened, especially under my tenure. So these things you can't, and I'm sure the Commissioner of Police I'm referring to would wish to assure the country that tomorrow wouldn't have a murder. But these things are all dwell in our heart, and we wish only the best for Trinidad and Tobago. But
No. I go in and watch that again. These are the human beings. Now I must commend Small Pin. At least he had the correct face on. He at least presented a picture that he concerned, and it's a very serious situation. So give Small Pin a little pin there, a little pips. Right? But we're going to play it again. I want you understand this. Murders across the board, firebombing, a 15-year-old killed, people getting robbed and bludgeoned, 12 hours, businesses shut down, hundreds of millions of dollars lost in that 12-hour period, gridlock, time wasted, GDP damage, people afraid, panicked. The youth men had to direct traffic, people, assets gone through, things mash up, freezer, meat, food, gone. People have to study now how they're going to eat today. Very critical, serious situation. And listen and look at your PNM Minister of Public Utilities, the Minister of Man. I want to know if you laugh so when your wife gets you in the bathroom. Run it.
Also, in terms of assurances to the public, given that the system is backed up, but that there would not be necessarily any repeat of anything like what happened yesterday in the very near future at the very least.
I think when I took my oath of appointment, I would have liked to assure the country that something of this nature would have never happened, especially under my tenure. So these things you can't, and I'm sure the Commissioner of Police I'm referring to would wish to assure the country that tomorrow wouldn't have a murder. But these things are all dwell in our heart, and we wish only the best for Trinidad and Tobago. But
And while laughing about an event that has not occurred, TNTech say 40 years, but as far as I know, it then occurred in the last 52 years, bringing so much suffering to so many citizens, but he had time to laugh, and then has the the unmitigated gall and stupidity to compare that to murder while laughing. Do you understand the abject stupidity of these human beings? It's not funny. That's a Minister of Public Utilities, and then you all wonder why nobody has water, why we in blackout, why everything is shattered. And Small Pen, I even have to take back my praise because I see you went and laughed too. You see, Archie? Yes. I withdraw the praise. Small Pen is just a total, complete clown. So even the little pin of praise I give you, I take it away. Just like how Asha take away she thing. And then, to top it off, if you're in a government and you're in charge of everything, and there is a threat or a dangerous situation, you should be on the ground trying to correct it for your people. Shouldn't you? And you should be there to ensure, one, that the pain is as little duration as possible, and then ensure it not happening again. That's your job. But if while the crisis is going on, you find time to go and buy a generator, what are you telling people about your confidence in your own cabinet, your government, and your management of the system? This is your Minister of Finance in the cabinet of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, purchasing a generator to make sure he could sleep in air condition. Does that fill you all with confidence? Does that fill you with confidence that one of the men who in charge of ensuring that you don't need a generator, he gone and buy one? Now you can't because he money larger than he is tall. But think about the message. Think about the message. Isn't this an admission of incompetence? Isn't this basically saying, I know I am in an incompetent government and this thing will continue, and therefore I see about myself? That is PNM. But yet, you know what? It took plenty people to give him a job. He not sharing this generator with all you. And then on top of that, after this calamity, where our windshield washers had to guide and help the people in the West, where the police could not be seen, communications were non-existent, people were lost, frightened, scared, not knowing what going on. The government dropped the ball totally on communications. The police, the strategy, the Ministry of National Security dropped the ball totally. Crime was out of hand, murder, firebombing. Let's see what they think, the heads on them. You don't have that? But the headline in today's papers, all you would see it. The heads were happy. The heads happy that everything went well. Did everything go well? Did they perform well? Is that the truth? So doesn't it worry you that all of those in charge who failed and flopped, they are happy? So Fitzgerald Hines happy, Small Pin happy, Public Utilities Minister Man happy, the fire, the police, DCP Jacobs, all of them happy. But I now understand why they happy. Because we had a little footage of some senior fire officers, you know. Senior. The big boys who in charge. Doing a little march. Watch this and then understand that when PNM is in power, they promote incompetence to the highest level. That's why they don't believe in merit lists. That's why they don't believe in scholarship. That's why they could put Simon the Nosebreaker in cabinet, even though he admits he's the last person who should have ever reached in a cabinet because he knows he's a dunce. But this is what the PNM does. This is why Rowley wants to control permanent secretaries too. This is why he picks cabinet members who just say, yes, Rowley, can I have an Ole chip? Run it, watch what PNM is.
Left and right, talk. Step on, quick, up.
Oh God! And that mother say, and that is in front of all the troops and thing, eh? WASA urges citizens to value every drop. That is the same WASA. Yesterday I asked the chairman, some Ganga Nanga, whatever his name is, some clown. I asked the chairman, how much water we wasting per month? Because we know from the Joint Select Committee back in 2017, before the then minister swearing twice to come and reduce the leaks, that they had 2,800 leaks and 4.2 million gallons of water was being wasted per month. Right? Was it million, boy? Might even be, they were producing 7 million gallons. It might be billion, eh? Let me just, but whatever it is, half was wasting of whatever WASA produced, whatever they chlorinate and make potable, when they distribute it, half. That was when that minister who swearing twice was there. It then got worse. He said he was going and get it down to 10% of that. It went up from 2,800 leaks to 4,200 leaks. Now across the country, it looked like we reached 8,000 leaks. All over, not only that, all WASA pumping station and service station and WASA units and thing gushing water as we have shown over the last 2 or 3 months. When I asked them, the chairman said he'll have to go back and come and write the answer. What you name? The chairman of WASA, some Ravi Nanga. Right? Well, when I see that Ravi Nanga, all your citizens there that suffering for water across all of Trinidad and Tobago, with Nanga there, all your Nanga get no water. I can tell all of that, because he's a total clueless clown. 14 million Beetham sewer bill. The Guardian prints this front page. 14 million Beetham sewer bill. WASA's largest sum on a single project in 2 years. Why, Guardian? What are you all trying to pretend? That the PNM cares? That WASA cares about the people of Beetham? $14 million, who cares? The people have been swimming, smelling, and living in tutu water for going on 7 months. You come to post to try to pretend like it's some big deal, 14 million? Really? In Dago Martin, they spent 25 million on a walkover that nobody's used. By Sealots, they spent 20 million on a walkover that nobody's used, not even the Alsing when he bonks. And what's going on with that investigation? Who broke the red light? Oh no, let's investigate Schoon and go and charge him because people drink rum and they eat a chicken puff and they, oh my goodness, they danced. Oh Lord, like Footloose, they danced. Charge them. Who broke the red light in that accident with Convent Girl? When he come out from the abattoir, did he break the red light? Or did the man coming up the highway break the red light? How come silence? No charges, no reckless driving, no ticket, no demerit points for either one? Oh, sorry, the law doesn't apply to PNM ministers. Oh my goodness. So 14 million for beat. I now drive past there. To smell all over the place. To water flowing all over. The people still in a mess. No rectification of the situation. That would have been dealt with in Goodwood Park in 1 week. But the Guardian come to pretend like the PNM care about black people. 14 million? That is 7 million less than the rent Al-Rawi get for 1 term. And he done gone in his 2nd term. 14 million, Al-Rawi get 84 million overall, 38 million to outfit his own building. 14 million, and Guardian, for what? So black people supposed to clap, yay! PNM spent 14 million and we swimming in tutu. That's what you want black people to do? Guardian, y'all are so disgusting and sick. It is not funny. Inflation, tangled supplies are gripping the economy. And no agricultural policy, right? Food import bills still skyrocketing and people suffering. Cooking oil prices set to rise. Everything set to rise. Great is the PNM. Elections have consequences. A man charged, well, this coward was charged. This is the coward, this clown who shot a man in the back and killed him down by Keaton Jewelry down on High Street, San Fernando. Well, the police catch him. Well done, police. Right? But crime out of hand. Chinese national shot dead. Watch this. I wonder if you have the video. Yeah, play the video. Only look and look carefully at what is going on in this country. Run it. That is broad daylight. Look at the brazenness of that murderer. Look at the skill. To kill a human being is not an easy thing. That man woke up there, settled, took aim, calmly, made sure it's the correct man, squeezed the trigger straight to a man's head, and then walked back into his car and drove off without fear, without any thought of getting caught. In Trinidad and Tobago, we had traffic all over. They are so unafraid of the PNM's crime fighting policy and their selected acting commissioner of police and what he is doing to keep us safe. Look at the madness. Look at the brazen hatred and nastiness. And this is not no one-off event. In shopping malls across the board, in stores, in broad daylight, in San Fernando, the second city, anywhere else, a 15-year-old killed. We now had another 15-year-old killed, a special needs boy during the blackout looking to get some Wi-Fi, murdered. Man shot dead in Laventille. Man shot dead. Pregnant woman among 2 wounded. Another pregnant woman. A pregnant woman get murdered 4 weeks ago. These things just becoming normal. And DCP Jacobs and the PNM and Fitzgerald Hines saying everything is good. We have plans and we have this. We are doing what? Relative of murdered soldier calls on politicians to buck up and tackle crime. Grandparents, why kill a 15-year-old? He was shot several times in the head and neck. A 39-year-old woman was shot in her right leg. They say the state of the country is a mess. This is a soldier killed. Trinidad is a mess. We can't say much unless the politicians decide to buck up and do what is right for crime. I think they can curb crime. I believe they can do something about it, but it's just that they don't want to do the necessary things. Who would feel safe going back to the neighborhood? But we have to do what we have to do. It's in Santa Cruz. Politicians, the PNM government. That's who they're talking about. Fitzgerald, Ethelbert, Hines. Ex-army official warns motorists as car thefts on the rise. Every type of crime on the rise. And Hines says 3 security agencies populating gang database. Really? 5 years ago, 4 years ago, Al-Rawi didn't come and say how many gang members, how many gang leaders. They know everything, and the UNC did not want to support the anti-gang legislation, and therefore all the murders on UNC. And you all believe that stupidity? Now they say they hire in a security firm giving out money contract, money, to now tell them how many gangs operating. Really? He said they have attorneys to assist in dealing with the legal. This was when Senator Mark asked this man some question in the Senate. What is the plan? Look at all this crime. What's going on? People unsafe, people dying, daylight, broad, murders, killers, total anarchy. Hear what Fitzgerald Hines say. Well, we get some assistance in dealing with the legal issues. We get some donation of food and clothing, provision of other social support services to citizens, the opening of a community conflict resolution center in St. Joseph. Yes, that go help stop murder and crime and theft and larceny and hijacking and carjacking and kidnapping. He said the allocation, he allocating additional resources. Allocating what? You couldn't even allocate the answer to a question. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Minister of National Security. Patrick Manning never gave him a ministerial portfolio. Keith Rowley gave him a Kobo sweat here and there. But when Keith Rowley had an issue that he lost confidence in Gary Griffith, and he started to interfere and misbehave in public office to ensure that the merit list was thwarted and caused the president to ignore the Constitution and caused the collapse of the Police Service Commission, which was then reappointed with strong PNM on it. This man was put there as a Minister of National Security. He also interfaced on the 26th, 27th, 29th, and 30th of August 2021 with the Police Service Commission, according to K. Walsing's email. This clown, this one that Rowley knows is the most incompetent human being on God green earth. Patrick Manning knew it. Everyone knows it. The man is useless. His brain is just used to keep his skull from imploding, from collapsing like a foil when you take the chocolate out of it. That's all his gray matter is there for. Totally useless. And if you all feel I'm joking, in the Senate on Tuesday, Wade Mark asked 3 questions. As is the normal process, the leader of government business would say, we are ready to answer all questions, or no questions, or 2 questions, we defer 1. The leader of government business, Clarence Rambarat, stated, we are ready to answer all 3 questions. All 3 were to this clown, the Minister of National Security. If I tell you that this man did not have the answer for the 3rd question and was so confused, he was like a deer in a headlights. Now as a minister, I have answered questions, but I have to answer my question. I know the most about my portfolio, and you may have to send it to a committee for vetting, but I have my answer for my question because I'm responsible as the Minister of Sport. Same thing should apply. But somehow the PNM know that this man is so stupid. Somebody else writing the answer to questions under his ministry that he have control over and guidance and policy direction. Somebody else in the PNM writing answers for this idiot. Do you all think I am joking? I joke not. Archie, please show them the evidence of stupidity. Doubles and Coffee are in an active kitchen, Tobago food cooking. But let me tell you something. If all you watched the Senate yesterday, Fitzgerald Ethelbert Hines, Beatum water, tutu water waiting for you on the Beatum. You ain't go there, but you come in the Senate in a nice suit, playing like you come from Maraval, Mr. Grassroots, Pomsite Rasta. But you, the Minister of National Security, Senator Wade Mark asking you questions. You come in the Senate to answer questions, and you didn't have the answer for the third question?
Yes.
Question number 50 to the Minister of National Security.
Minister of National Security.
Madam President, I did not have notice of that question today.
Minister, the Leader of Government Business indicated, Minister, the Leader of Government Business, just one sec, the Leader of Government Business who advises on which questions will be answered did indicate that all questions will be answered.
Who answering the question for you? You're cheating in exam? You don't know you're not supposed to cheat? If you are the Minister of National Security, how come you had to ask Clarence for the answer? The Minister Zabuka had to answer about national security. No wonder we in a total complete mess. We can't come out of the house. Gunman running the tongue because they have a dunce lazy Rasta man who pretending that he's a roots man, but he can't go and see people down in Lavanti who vote for him and have them in tutu water 6 months. Why you don't go down there and do your job? Come out, because Patrick Manning knew you were incompetent. Rowley only put you there to go and deal with Double G. So, well, you already deal with him already. Well, come out and let somebody else do the work so we could be safe, because people, ladies, mothers, grandmothers under pressure, and you cannot even answer your own question on the Ministry of National Security. The Minister of Agriculture to help you out and give you a laptop to cheat. What are you teaching with children? Ethelbert, poor fella. You don't shame. You don't shame. Eh? What eat your shame? Crab eat your shame? Leave him right there, because we're going to stay with that. Kamla Prasad Bisesa asked some questions. What about the investigation? That was a week ago. After a week, it's now 9 days, and no results from the investigation into the incident. Right? More than a week has passed, says Kamla Prasad Bisesa, since the killing of a Venezuelan migrant baby during a Coast Guard interception. And there are no answers yet. Just before midnight on February 5th, a migrant vessel illegally entered Trinidad waters, which resulted in the Coast Guard intercepting the vessel. Shots were fired by the Coast Guard, resulting in the killing of 1-year-old Yaelvis Santoyo Sarabija, who was in the arms of his mother, Darielvis Sarabija. Right. Where's the report? Where's the investigation? Where are the independent investigators? Where are the witnesses? Are they in his dreams? This clown here has not been able to provide any safety or security to Trinidad and Tobago. He went on Fazil's show and said it's not his work. It clearly is not his work. And that's why we are not safe. We are more unsafe than at any time in any period in our history. And there is no hope on the horizon. Look at your hope. There is no hope in dope. Now, leave him there, because he advises the new acting DCP Dunce. He advises him. The DCP Dunce said he takes his thoughts and his advice. He does not take direction, but he's always meeting with this one. And they changed sort to NOTF or something. But here are the reasons given. Now, many of you and Keith Rowley, as well as other PNM sycophants like Vasant Bharat and Bo Tiwari, have started to say that Kamla is wrong to call for an investigation of an independent institution in Trinidad and Tobago. And Kamla Prasad Bisesa and all right-thinking people say, no, no, no. When to whom much power is given, much responsibility is expected. And your job is to protect, not to be judge, jury, and executioner, not to kill babies, not to act irresponsibly, not to show your power and your force because of your position. You must act properly. That is Kamla. But Rowley, Vasant, and Bo say, no, it's unpatriotic to criticize independent institutions. Okay, well, let's hear what the PNM's rationale for changing from SORT to NOTF is. They said, concerns from various international intelligence agencies over the extrajudicial manner in which the officers of the Special Operations Response Team executed their duties led to the dismantling of the unit. Concerns from various international bodies. Okay, speaking to the Express yesterday afternoon, Acting Police Commissioner McDonald Jacobs said, on November 22nd last year, he indicated to the media that SORT would not be disbanded. However, this stance was changed shortly after information came to his attention sometime in December that concerns were raised by international agencies which share information and financial assistance with the TTPS. Therefore, he moved to change from SORT to NOTF. The U.S. cites the Leahy Law. Sources told the Express the U.S. had written to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who in turn briefed the Ministry of National Security. In withdrawing its funding, the U.S. cited the Leahy Law, which refers to two statutory provisions prohibiting the U.S. government from using funds for assistance to units of foreign security forces where there is credible information implicating that unit in the commission of gross violations of human rights. The Leahy Law states, the U.S. government considers torture, extrajudicial killing, enforced disappearance, rape, and abuse of power under color of law as GVHRs. When implementing the Leahy Law, incidents are considered on a fact-specific basis. The State Department Leahy Law includes an exception permitting resumption of assistance to a unit if the Secretary of State determines and reports to Congress that the government of the country is taking effective steps to bring the responsible members of the Security Forces unit to justice. So please, Rowley, Vassant, and Bow, please put these two matters in context, because here you are saying that in a unit that has responsibility for dealing with law enforcement and where people have done illegal activities, the U.S. international agencies based on law has said they're cutting the funding because they believe the force and the power was done without human rights, extrajudicially, and they did not utilize their power in the correct means and fashion. Now go to our Coast Guard. Our Coast Guard in an army vessel with 6 men with army bulletproof vests, AR-15s, coming upon illegal migrants, unarmed. The army, the Coast Guard had FLIR, forward-looking infrared. They ought to have known, they should have known, if the technology is working, that there are people on board, people of different sizes, babies, through the infrared that can see 6 nautical miles. They decided to shoot at illegal migrants and killed, wounded a mother and killed a baby. So you don't think that an independent investigation, one, is needed? There is international interest in this case like no other in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Over 42 different news agencies from Australia, New Zealand, Japan, China, Malaysia, India, coming across to Europe, Africa, South Africa, Mozambique, Botswana, into USA, Canada, down into South America, and all Caribbean, have taken interest in this case. And Rowley, Vassant, and Bow say, don't investigate. Don't criticize. It was an accident. Our Coast Guard acted correctly, shooting and killing unarmed migrants. It was in breach of all the treaties that we have signed. Human rights. It continues the policy of abuse implemented by the PNM government against migrants. And then they say, well, Kamala said keep the borders safe. Yes, Kamala said protect the borders, especially when you are keeping our citizens out of the legal ports of entry. Protect the borders, give Coast Guard diesel, use the radar, helicopter, air guard, Make sure the pilots are there. Army camps along the southwest peninsula and the coast. Use police roadblocks, put immigration officers, health officials, build areas to humanely treat with migrants. Kamala Prasad Biswas and the UNC never said, get out there in a warship with your big guns and kill people, kill babies, shoot at mothers. So this nonsense. So if funding was cut from SORT because of breaches in human rights, because of extrajudicial killings, what do the US say about the Coast Guard activity with Yaelvi Santoyo Sarabia? Where's the investigation? You see the selective ethics of Rowley, Vassant, and Bowe. So it's ethical to change from SORT to NOTF. But it's politics with Coast Guard. A prime minister who's supposed to be independent cannot simply say, we will investigate. We don't have all the facts. And appoint independent investigators to investigate and report. But they start to send back witnesses, Rowley and Maduro. Maduro, who's now saying he on Russia's side in the possible conflict that's going to occur globally with Ukraine if he goes in. Maduro says he's back in Russia. Where's Trinidad and Tobago in this? Because for the last 6 years, we've been staunchly in Maduro's pocket. We have attacked our NATO allies, our European Union, our American and Canadian friends. We have attacked them in the parliament, outside the parliament. The prime minister, the PNM, has attacked our perennial friends. So are we now on the side of Maduro and Putin in this global fiasco that is about to take place? These are very serious questions. So when you have clowns like Vassant and wannabe Bowe, like the old Bartex that have no support, Tiwari, don't let me start on you. I hear you talking all kind of thing, but you want to do this and move there. You have no support, you'll never have any support. And if you want me to start to talk, I go start to talk about CDA and what you was doing and all the irrelevance. You was Minister of Planning, Tiwari. What you do? You ain't make a plan. In 5 years, I sat in a cabinet, and what you just talk. You're so lazy and you do nothing. You want to lead something? Lead what? Look, Bo, go and rest now. As I tell Archie, the only good thing, Bo, is a slight bow leg on a lady. U.S. Embassy raises Black Lives Matter flag. Again, this is another issue. Because if you are saying the position of Rowley, Vassant, and Bowe, that you must not criticize, question, or investigate independent institutions, it is terrible politics. Then what they are saying is that the entire Black Lives Matter movement is nonsensical. Because the entire Black Lives Matter movement is to question independent institutions who have the authority to impact the freedom and lives of citizens, because the use of that power was extrajudicial in their application towards black people. So even if a black person was doing something illegal, which is another argument made by Rowley, Vassant, and Bowe, that these are illegal migrants, so whatever happened. Really? So if a black man in the USA steals something from a store, it's okay for the independent institution, the police force, to kill him? If he breaks a red light or fails to turn or stop before signaling or whatever, and they pull him over and he's dead, that's okay according to Rowley, Vassant, and Bowe? Let me just remind you what Black Lives Matter is about, because you have to apply the principle to the Coast Guard, a responsible unit who did not use their power properly, and an investigation is warranted because a baby is dead. Run it, Archie.
These were their last words. Their names define a movement. Their deaths a rallying cry for justice. The killing of George Floyd has protesters demanding change, led by Black Lives Matter once again.
It's time for us to stand up in George's name and say, get your knee off our necks.
The Black Lives Matter group has been fighting to be heard since 2013, and the phrase itself is now being seen on streets and screens all over the world. But how did the movement get here? How did it begin? Their message comes from an urgent need to tackle police brutality, and the statistics are stark. Police killed more than 1,000 people in America in 2019. Black people are currently 3 times more likely to be killed by police, and 99% of killings by a police officer between 2013 to 2019 have not resulted in criminal charges. But the Black Lives Matter bubble didn't actually start with police brutality. It began after the death of Trayvon Martin at the hands of an armed vigilante. Zimmerman accepted he shot Martin, claiming self-defense. He wasn't immediately charged. In fact, it took 44 days for him to be arrested, only after national media attention, a petition signed by more than 1 million people, and a public response from the then president.
You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. We're going to get to the bottom of exactly what happened.
You see the difference in a real leader? We are going to get to the bottom of what exactly happened. So it started with Trayvon Martin, which was a vigilante, but the state where he is was a redneck state, and they didn't really care and didn't move the processes forward, and that's where the Black Lives Movement began. But then it took on police brutality, institutional brutality, Coast Guard brutality, police, army brutality, shooting and killing people with their hands up on video and then picking up shells. These things cannot be allowed. No real leader would ever allow those things. Kamala Persad-Bissessar is a real leader who stands up and says, you are given responsibility. You take an oath. You must carry out your job properly under the law. You are not judge, jury, and executioner. But Rowley, Vassant, and Bo say, Kamala, no. Our Coast Guard can kill people. They can do what they want. It's legal. It's correct. It's right. And it's wrong to attack the Coast Guard. What abject, total nonsense. What abject, total, complete nonsense. Because they're what? Illegal immigrants. Listen, and some of you citizens out there believe that stupidity. Human beings, we sign the UNCHR, the UNHCR, we sign UN treaty, we sign children treaty, migrants treaties. We are signatories to that. You must treat people with respect. No human child anywhere in the world is to lose their life as a migrant. But you people believe Rowley, Vassant, and Bo and some of this stupidness. Look in the Express, somebody says Jason Duncan. Because they entered Trinidad illegally. I thought this was a no-brainer. So Jason Duncan, you believe that if somebody entered somewhere illegally or does an illegal act, it's okay for the authorities to kill them, to execute them? Is that your justice? So if you, Jason Duncan, God forbid, thief a kiss loaf bread in the grocery, it's okay to the police to kill you, to shoot you because it's illegal what you did? Or are they supposed to arrest you, read you your rights, charge you, put you there, let you get bail, go through the process, and then see if you're guilty and you get punished by the judge? Isn't that our democratic system? I didn't know if you break the law, Babylon could kill you. Really? You really want to agree with Rowley, Vassant, and Bo on that stupidity? So it was legal for the police to just tear gas citizens who were praying in the savannah. Okay. Margaret Wilson, wrong cannot make a right. Why did they not come in the right way? So they came in the wrong way, Margaret Wilson, so the baby deserved to dead. They came in the wrong way, so the mother deserves to dead. They came in the wrong way, so the Coast Guard could just open fire on human beings. That's what y'all are saying? Sometimes I wonder about my people, you know. I really do. Abject, total nonsense. But I tell you this one, the world is watching. And the world is not interested, just like Guyana not interested in Rowley. And just like the COP26 wasn't interested in Rowley. The world is not interested nor afraid of Rowley. Even if you in Trinidad and Tobago are, and you allow that oppressive dictatorial clown to remain in office, Rowley must go. Because the country has been embarrassed like never before. And then he started to talk about prostitution only in Chaguanas. Well, if prostitution in Chaguanas, look your friend. Look, you're rubbing up and holding him, man. Why you giving he ole chips too? This is you, Rowley, and the whole house king. And you come to talk prostitution? You sickening scumbucket? You serious? You are in the house of the whole house king on a whole chair. Who sits, who buys that? Only a whole house king could buy something so ugly. And you talking about prostitution, Rowley? And even Israel can know that this man, Rowley, does lie for anything. I feel I ending this show with a senior counsel. Senior counsel, tell me your analysis of Keith Christopher Rowley now. Please, just let me know what you think about Keith Christopher Rowley, the liar. Run it.
Prime Minister is an imposter when it comes to say that he will subscribe to his vote. He's a liar.
Okay, we won't say such strong statements.
I am saying it, let him sue me. He's lying to the population, he's lying to the country, left, right, and center. Just how we lie about the Millgate. But let me leave the Millgate.
Well,
and as we go, just for y'all, especially Hans Devines and the PNM sycophants who believe that this nonsense and waste of money and corruption to give out contract to do a little pod and have nothing to do with culture as our country crumbles. Let me show you what is really a taste of carnival, since you all have forgotten. Actually, give them a little taste and come back.
If you find me face looking flat, it's something that really get me upset. If me face looking like it want to fret, it's something that really get me upset. Me and the boss man just disagree. It nearly a big fight with me and him. Well, what you think of the delay? He want me to walk on Carnival Day. I tell him, no, Mr. Vidal. Don't want me to walk for Carnival. Mr. If you want to beat me back. Don't want me to walk for Carnival. This could have serious bacchanal. Don't want me to walk for Carnival. Like Duke, I could get on radical. Don't want me to walk for Carnival. I walk in.
That is carnival. That is a taste of carnival. When carnival was carnival, carnival tent was carnival, and all inclusive. East Indians, everybody was allowed and could pay to come and enjoy Calypso before the PNM and Joe Newell turned it into a PNM party group and started to pay for songs and lyrics, and Calypso lost its art form. It used to be the newspapers of the country, but the PNM killed the art form. That was when carnival was carnival. That's a taste of carnival. Not this taste of stupidity, this taste of dotishness. Nothing works in this country. Just like the blackout that occurred this week, the PNM has a dark cloud of incompetence over all of us in Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing is functioning. Our education system has collapsed. Crime is rampant and we are all unsafe. Nothing is functioning. The roads don't work. No water, no electricity, no jobs. Nothing, no hope, no energy sector. The entire public service is under attack. Labor movement is being called dotish. Trinidad and Tobago is under siege. We have to remove the darkness, the blackout. We must get rid of the incompetence. Rowley must go. The PNM must go. They must be obliterated from the political landscape. Join with the United National Congress. Vote a lady with heart, with light, with hope, would care for the people, for labor, for children, for single mothers, vote UNC. Join with us. Anyone who wants to splinter and divide, it's PNM. Botiwari, don't let the DouglAR start on you. Go with your old self. Go and rock on a chair and cool your flipping self. You understand? Don't try to come to ensure that my little daughter have to get PNM again because you come to play you dividing some little thing. Nobody will vote for you, Bo, because they know that you're a PNM, and anyone who divides the opposition is a PNM. You understand? It's clear. The evidence from 1956 is there. The United National Congress is all encompassing, all welcoming. It welcomes every individual. Bring your brain, bring your ideas so that we can implement. This country is so devastated. It will take thousands and thousands of us with the best brain, the hardest workers to save this country. Rowley must go. The PNM must go. Good night.
Say I hate getting caught in traffic. When the people in power, please stop it. Say I can't get to work on time, cause I'm stuck at the traffic light. I hate getting caught in traffic. When the people in power, please stop it. Say I can't get to work on time, cause I'm stuck at the traffic light.